funfetti, it just makes anything feel like a party. It's a standout ingredient that makes a colorful collection of sweets. And these cookie sandwiches are bursting with fun and flavor. So our friend Alex Daynes is here. She's showing us how to have fun with funfetti. I mean, you have to, right? It's in the name.
Yes.
Okay, so we're talking this would be really fun for St. Patrick's Day.
Totally. Like, I loved leaning into the rainbow aspect of St. Patrick's Day and our little leprechaun friends. And I feel like St. Patrick's Day gets a lot of green. So let's just go colorful this time with funfetti.
Rainbow. Why not
rainbow?
Do more rainbow? Okay,
yes.
So what is even the flavor of funfetti?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked that because it really is a unique flavor. It's a cake batter, essentially of like a dough flavor, but then we always have to have those sprinkled mix on top. And I feel like the sprinkles give it almost more sugar than just traditional cake batter. And that's what makes it funfetti, is
and
the
that's
fun
why the
color.
Kids love it too.
Yes, exactly.
It's almost like polka dotty. Okay, so let's start with the dough here.
Yes, so we are making a homemade funfetti cookie. Now you could reach for your funfetti box mix here. We're gonna get to it. If you wanna do a cake mix cookie, you can just add 2 eggs and a half a cup of oil to any cake mix and make cookies. Oh, these are homemade, so these are so good. We've got a stick of butter already in here with 3/4 of a cup of sugar and 1 egg. I mix that all together. Now we were talking about the flavor of funfetti. And your base is gonna be 2 things, which is vanilla and almond extract.
Okay, 2 things I like.
Yes, so we're gonna just add a quick dash of both of those. Now to these cookies, I wanted them nice and light and fluffy and airy, and so I actually added cornstarch as well when we're gonna add in those dry ingredients, and that's what's gonna give your cookies that light, airy feeling. That comes in most cake mixes as well, but I thought, you know what, we're gonna be doing a lot of things with the cake mix, so let's throw a homemade dough into the mix.
Yes, why not?
So from our
smells really good.
It does smell good. Are you getting the cake batter, that cake batter filling? So to our wet and our dry, we've got flour, we have salt, sugar, baking soda, and then that cornstarch in there. And then of course the funfetti sprinkles. Now I just grabbed these at Walmart. You're looking for the Jimmy sprinkles. They tend to hold their shape a little bit better.
Oh, thanks for that tip.
Yeah.
Jimmy sprinkles, okay.
And I love them. And then you'll see this dough is just as easy as a cake mix cookie, but it comes together so fast, so simple. When you're baking these up, if you're planning on sandwiching them together like I did, my tip is to make them smaller than you think. So like a smaller cookie dough, because you're getting double the cookie in each bite.
Ooh,
you know, so you want your dough to go a long way. So even these were a little bigger than my preferred liking. So when you're baking them up, think small.
And plus these days, don't you think almost everyone's like, ooh, can I just have half of that?
Yeah, no,
so
you
if
just
make them
want to
smaller, then they can eat the whole cookie.
And your dough will go a lot longer of a way as well.
Well,
So
I like how
easy.
you can just blend that up with the sprinkles in it, and they still hold their form, like you said.
And and they're gonna bake up beautifully. So you'll see over there that they don't melt down like into the dough. You still have the structure of the actual sprinkle in your cookie.
Again, it's like polka dotty, tie-dye, like a really fun visual.
Yes,
for
I think the
everybody.
kids are gonna love this one, honestly.
Okay, and then
So
the
this
frosting.
is a homemade funfetti frosting.
Okay.
So I really wanted the cake batter flavor in my frosting, which we can achieve with just vanilla and almond extract. But I thought it would be fun to actually take the funfetti cake mix itself, because it has a lot of that cake batter flavor, and use it in addition to my powdered sugar.
Okay, so first of all, you just did powdered sugar and milk?
Yep, so powdered sugar and butter and a little bit of milk.
Okay.
Exactly. A little bit of vanilla, and then I added the cake mix in here.
Mix right to it.
And I don't like this guy as much as this
That's
guy,
okay.
so
We'll
stand
step
back. But yeah, and then it whips together so nicely. We can make it a little less fluffy with a little extra whole milk in here.
Now, when you're making a cookie sandwich, what consistency are we going for?
I'm glad you asked. We want ice cream consistency here. So we'll give this a quick mix.
Like a soft serve?
Like a soft serve ice cream, because what we want out of the sandwiches is we want them to actually have like a little bit more sturdiness to it. So I think we never have enough sprinkles, right? So
you're adding more sprinkles to the funfetti cake batter because, you couldn't see them very well.
Yeah, and this goes beyond like a traditional buttercream because it actually has the cake batter flavoring to itself. So not only does the cookie taste like cake batter, but then your frosting is gonna taste like cake batter as well.
Let's talk about how you're getting these cookie shapes the same size to make a sandwich.
Yep, so that's what you wanna look for. So this is the cookie scoop that I use for these exact cookies. And again, I think it's a little bit too big. So this is about 2 tablespoons of dough. I would maybe go 1.5 if you can go. This guy's a little bit smaller. I think this guy would have been the move. But when you're baking them, obviously they're not gonna be perfect. These all kind of vary in size, but I like to marry them and match them up. So like as I'm looking at my tray, I grab the 2 that look like they're gonna be about the same size, see if they line up, and then I know that that's gonna make a pretty sandwich for me.
When you put your glob of dough, sorry, not for a more beautiful
No,
word,
I love
but
it.
Do you flatten it out, or are you?
I don't. So I'm glad you asked, because these are a drop cookie, so like, you know, just but I did roll them because I wanted them to be nice and uniform and round. So after I dropped them on my cookie sheet, I used this to measure it out, but then I did roll them into a nice tight ball.
Nice ball, so that they do get that really circular shape.
I'm super glad you asked.
You're
because
also
that's a
using
good
the
question.
scoop to put the frosting inside.
Again, just because I want it to be uniform and consistent, and I know that this is going to be the right proportion of frosting to the sandwich cookie.
And once
we
you sandwich it, then you're rolling it also. Or did you roll? You did some, but you didn't do all.
I did both because I couldn't decide, because I liked the pretty edge and I liked being able to see the frosting, but I also thought, like, it is so pretty to dip that edge in the sprinkle and make it more of a sandwich cookie. Yeah.
So cute.
I think that's so fun. So it kind of brings the rainbow all the way in and ties it all the way in with those Funfetti sprinkles.
And you have a really great idea for what to do with the extra dough too.
Yes.
Let's not
so
waste
if we're opening your cake mix for this, we might as well bake it up, right? So I just did a little less oil and water, or you can just make a cake mix according to the box instructions, bake it, and then I turned it into cake pops. And I actually just took the hot cake right out of the oven, threw it into my stand mixer while it was still steamy, and turned it on. And I just like blended it, and because of that steam, you don't need frosting, you don't need any other additives. You just, the steam cooks it down and it makes it pliable dough. That tastes good. So it tastes like nice Funfetti frosting. Dipped it into a little skewer, and then I'm just gonna dip it into some white chocolate here. But they sell different colors of melting wafers too, so you don't have to go white.
But white's fun because then the confetti really pops.
Yes,
the sprinkles.
Exactly, you read my mind. I love, like, again, we're loving the Funfetti today, so we're just gonna pop those on there.
All right, well, Alex always brings the funnest things to us, including what we can do with Funfetti. Where do we find more from you, Alex?
I would love to connect with you online. My page is the Alex Daynes on social media, and alexdaynes.com for all my recipes.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Amy.
We're ready to have fun.